The lid opens and closes using a hinge mechanism. Integrated into the lid is the phone holder, which consists of a bottom lip, which unfolds, and the mount, which applies pressure on the phone, holding it in place. The underside of the rig houses two rails on which the grips are mounted. These rails also act as connection points between the rig and whatever is mounted on them. A button can be pressed, releasing a latch which allows for the grips to be pulled off vertically. The grips are a two-shell component held together by a press fit and one screw. This screw also holds the top shell and the rail slot together. This slot contains the connection point for the rig's rails, allowing interactivity with the grip's electronic features. This connection method is utilized by all the modular components of the device. The main electronic component of the grips are the internal motors. These provide haptic feedback for a more immersive gaming experience. This is standard with typical controllers. The grip also contains a spring-action lever system operated by a button which puts pressure on the rails, preventing it from simply sliding out. Similarly, the preset is mounted on two parallel rails. The central top buttons must both be pressed simultaneously to release the latch, and the main body pulled vertically to take it off the rig. The preset has two shells held together by 6 screws. 2 of these screws also hold the rail slots which, similarly to the grips, allow interaction between the rig and the preset. Inside the preset, there are 2 boards. The bottom one is the main PCB, which stores and transmits all other data from the controller. The rig simply does not work without a preset, so having one is essential. It also has both thumbsticks directly welded onto it. The top board has particular features underneath it which orient and hold the spring-operated lever mechanism in place, as well as acting as a surface for buttons to make contact with, transmitting those signals to the main PCB. The screws that attach the rail slots also hold both of these boards together onto the bottom shell. The top shell is designed so that the buttons can be placed in their holes, all at the correct orientation. It also has extrusions for silicone pads to cover them, which allow the buttons to press down and transmit a signal. This top shell also has connection points that align the top half with the bottom half, and the 4 other holes for the screws to go into. The 2 shells snap fit together and allow for the screws to be easily inserted and tightened. The internals of each individual preset follow the same general internal structure, adapted to their specific button layout. The rig has 3 injection molded parts, held together with 6 screws. 2 of these screws are underneath the rig, where the grips are mounted, and the rest are on the back. The triggers are mounted on a clip on the front plate and can be pulled out from the back for disassembly. The front plate typically needs to be removed first, as it holds the battery and the lid hinge in place. This plate also has 2 rails slotted inside, which are removable. The bottom plate also has slots for the rails, and also holds the rechargeable battery. With the front plate removed, the lid's barrel hinge mechanism is now accessible. They can be easily removed or replaced with a set of pliers, making the lid possible to take off. The lid and the phone mount are made of 2 molds each and are held together by 6 screws. The top plate of the lid can be removed to reveal the phone mount, which houses 2 tension springs. These allow for the phone mount to apply pressure and retract when not in use. These springs are held in place by 2 screws at the front and the back. The main body of the lid is molded so that it can house the phone mount and the tension springs. The bottom lip is held onto the lid by 2 screws, which it uses as a hinge. With the back screws removed, the bottom mold can be easily removed. This leaves the back mold, which houses the bumpers and a port for micro USB charging.